Hello and welcome to the show that teaches you the things your parents and teachers are too afraid to, the heliosblog. Today, Hasan loses it after getting called out. Here we go.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
You genocidal scumbag. You have no dignity. You do not have an ounce of dignity inside of your soul. Terrible that the people died, but I encourage you to look into where Hamas was firing. You piece of shit. You garbage, monstrous scumbag. You garbage, monstrous scumbag. You said IDF didn't bomb the hospital, and then you said it did. But Hamas was firing rockets from it in the same 2-minute time frame. So why did you lie at first? Huh? Why did you...
Okay. Someone is very, very emotional about this.
lie? How can you live with yourself, you genocidal piece of shit? You have no evidence. Stop concluding. What is this? What am I looking at? Rip. Oof, they lit that fucking thing up. Look at the traces. This one is literally Arma 3. It's fake. It's Arma. Oh, god damn it! What am I looking at with my own 2 eyes? What are you...
So he was tricked by a video game. That's okay. I see.
What are you looking at? I have no evidence. Don't believe your eyes. What do you mean? Does that strike you as a misfire? This will not be verified inevitably further. We've already done the verification. There's already enough evidence to 100% show whether it was the Islamic Jihad or the IDF that bombed this hospital does not change the reality that Israel has bombed 22 other hospitals, including the hospital that we're talking.
Ah, I see. The very next day, he yeah. So he's just saying whatever, just to get money, I guess. Yeah, that's... Well, you know what that means.
Talking about on Saturday, and also 4,200 Palestinians have been ruthlessly slaughtered by Israel's ongoing bombing campaign, and they are still bombing. Make this make sense to me.
So, guys, just so you know, Hasan is just a shill, right? He says what he's paid to say. So he's received an email by somebody up high that tells him what side he's supposed to be on. And you know what side he's on. It's very clear.
If you are literally 100% certain you didn't do this, how the turn around and then reveal information that contradicts itself? It makes no sense. On Tuesday, the Gaza-based Palestinian Center for Human Rights said its investigation of shrapnel and other evidence led it to conclude that the blast was caused by an Israeli airstrike. This was a missile fired from an Israeli aircraft, said Raji Sorani, the director of the group, as he displayed pictures of what he said was a fragment showing the missile's serial number. Israel's Haaretz newspaper, meanwhile, cited unnamed Israeli defense officials, saying the military's investigation had concluded that 5 were killed by an Israeli strike. Asked about the Haaretz story, the military said it was still examining the event. It said that throughout the latest round of fighting, it had targeted militant infrastructure and made every feasible effort to minimize as much as possible harm to civilians.
Yes, this always happens in wars. People always make the greatest effort to reduce damage and collateral. Yes. Look at Poland a few years ago for evidence of this. Oh, wait.
Civilian property. Now, that part is obviously bullshit. Okay? What is... Oh, this is... Oh, from the... this is from this is from 2022. Oh, regardless.
Regardless. Yeah, so he just says crap just to say crap.
Instance.
Thoughts on Hassan Piker subreddit deleting a post showing the hospital explosion wasn't an IDF rocket? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. He's unhinged. It's not about
The wait for facts truther doesn't know exactly who's at fault, difficulty concluding, footage isn't high enough quality for him, needs a source, well based on the evidence so far, read an entire article and still can't decide, fragile, could be destroyed, waste time waiting for official reports, can hold his opinions if new fact introduced. The immediate concluder, this is what happened, proved wrong but point stands anyway, has seen a lot of Marvel movies, instantly forms opinions to fit narrative, doesn't read past headline before concluding, doubles down no matter what. Chat, did I say that? Didn't think so. No time to watch footage, so just imagines it. Anyone who criticizes is obsessed with him.
3 weeks from saying, can you bake 6 billion or 6 million cookies that fast though? Kind of. Remember, the Hassan and the lefties, well, the non-Muslim ones, the non-Arabic ones. That's not always true. Hassan and the lefties are not powered generally by anti-Semitism. They're powered by anti-Zionism, right? Their predisposition towards hating Israel and everything towards it comes from U.S. foreign policy, not their hatred of Jewish people. I don't know if that distinction doesn't matter for some people, but I think it's pretty important.
As I said, Hassan is just paid to say something. He's paid to support one side. It's very obvious.
Concluders are going to be able to fall back to pointing to the New York Times, etc., to excuse them. Yeah, so here's something that I don't know if it was always like this. I'd be super curious in grilling the editorial people at the New York Times, the Washington Post. I don't think it's acceptable. Oh, actually, show me a headline. Here's what I recall seeing. If I recall seeing this, this is pretty bad. Headline, hospital, like witnesses say hospital bombed, 500 dead. And then buried in the story, reported by officials in Gaza. That headline on an American publication implies that there's been some third-party verification there. I thought I saw this on the New York Times. The fact that they would publish that headline without sticking the Hamas or the Gaza reported, yeah, I think Reuters might have even done a similar thing. That is not good. I feel like, again, and I understand this is hard, but people are so desperate to either be anti-Hamas terror attacks, which you should be, or anti-IDF killing civilians or oppression of Palestinians, you should be. They're like rushing to try to prove their virtue by showing the other side. Like, I've said this before and I'll say it again. There's nothing, you don't lose anything by waiting a while. Like, you can just wait to report on what happened. Well, I guess, actually, I'm sorry, that was retarded. If you're a streamer, you can wait. I guess if you're a news org, you kind of live or die based on your reporting, but like...
Right. Again, people are reporting not based on the facts, but based on an agenda that has to do with money, right? And so does Hassan, right? That's the thing. These institutions are corrupt, so there's no way that they're going to give clear information anymore. That's just how it works.
I think the British politicians earlier said it best. The media is trying to meet social media minute by minute on breaking news, where instead they should admit they never will be able to focus on accuracy over speed. Yeah, that's like the thing. Or
Indeed.
You can try to do it, but then you've got to look like me. You've got to cuck yourself out like me. You've got to be like, well, it's possible that this was report, and you have to qualify the out of everything. But you got to be super careful with those headlines. Like, you're gonna blackpill everybody on media so hard, right? Whether it was the...
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, you see? I'm saying the media's corrupt, their agenda's not the truth, it's money. And so, can you really trust what they say? And the truth is, you can't really trust what they say. Because if you could, then there wouldn't be such a gigantic mix-up, right? And, I mean, we all know, right, that the news, what is it really made to do? It's made to make you feel like garbage, right? Its agenda isn't to tell you the truth. It's to show you the worst parts of humanity back to back to back to back, because that gets eyes on the screen, because they don't care about you knowing anything. What they care about is getting your eyeballs on the screen so they can make money. They're a business.
The 40 decapitated babies was a bad look, especially for Biden to say that. Because I don't think Biden had seen any videos or pictures of decapitated babies at that point. And now this like IDF bombs hospital, as reported by Hamas. Like, this Caroline chick is unhinged. I heard that she just like basically repeats everything that apparently she just repeats everything Hasan says uncritically to like all the other LSF streamers. I was following the Reuters and AP feeds pretty closely. They seem to do a good job of reiterating that the health ministry is controlled by Hamas and that claims couldn't be independently verified, but not in the headlines. Yeah, I feel like that needs to be in the headlines. That's because I understand what you learn like in journalism school is probably different than like the real world. Or hold on, let me qualify that. I remember when I was in high school, they said, make an interesting headline. The headline should just be attention grabber. Then you put the meat in the story. Today, people only read headlines. So, I mean, I feel like, yeah, I feel like you have to plan your headlines around people only reading those, which sucks, but...
People nowadays have such a short attention span, they don't even read anymore. It's not even only read the headline. Adults only read the headline. The new generation doesn't read at all. They read zero. And so they don't know anything about anything. Again, the psyop of making the kids stupid is happening right now. And what's the point of it? It's so that the rich stay rich, right? It's so that the power remains where it is. Because if people are stupid sheep that can't think for themselves, then the power stays concentrated where it needs to stay according to those people. And then when those people die, they don't care what happens after them. You know, it's a very, Louis XIV situation. After me, the flood, you know?
You should read the geo-confirmed thread on the missile. I did read that. I read through a couple threads on people looking at it. It looks like, it really does look like a Hamas rocket malfunctioned, I think. They said the motor malfunctioned or something. And then the missile, the rocket blew up in a, and then it looks like it blew up once or twice in a parking lot in a hospital. The 500 dead figure sounds insane. Personally, I'll make a prediction here. I'll be a little brave. I would be surprised if it was like 15 or 20 dead, unless this parking lot was like packed full of people. I don't know how you could ever kill more than 50 people in that parking lot. Destiny, does it not look like it was intercepted? Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the way that the Iron Dome interceptions work is when the Iron Dome missile is close enough to the rocket, the missile will explode, and that'll detonate all of the explosive ordnance on the incoming rocket, I believe. So
you would see two explosions. One explosion followed by an immediate... It would look like a double explosion.
If the Iron Dome interception is successful, it shouldn't cause the rocket to blow up once it hits the ground. Don't believe so. Also... yeah, I don't know if you can manually intercept, or if you can dynamically intercept rockets like out on the battlefield, because the Iron Dome shouldn't be covering rockets into Gaza like that, right? It feels weird like just going live and being a hater, but I think like the biggest thing that I'm worried about is I'm worried that there's going to be no accountability for all the reporting right now. Like, these big streamers on the left are engaging in basically de facto like terrorism propaganda. I know that like we can meme about it because it's Palestine, and we can meme about it because it's lefties, and we can meme about it because they're on like family friendly platforms like Twitch.
But perhaps that's why it's not okay.
But like the Hasan stuff is unhinged. It's probably the most unhinged mainstream alt media stuff I've seen, like maybe ever, or like it rivals like Tim Pool. Like, he's about that level, not about that level, he's at that level now. No, he's not. I think he's worse, because I think Tim Pool is a lunatic on Twitter, but at least when he's talking on his show, he tries to, like, he's still conspiratorial, but he's like in his own way. But it just feels like Hasan, maybe I'm giving Hasan more credit because he's on my side. It feels like Hasan speaks with so much more credit on some of this. But then, yeah, Jesus. Sorry for the topic switch. Recently found my partner and I can't have natural born kids, so we need to adopt. I'm scared. I won't love the adopted kid the same as my own. Do you know any positive adoption stories? I mean, if you can't this is okay. I'll do 3 things. So firstly, you can't do like in vitro fertilization or use like a surrogate mother. There are other things you can do if you're not able to have kids that you can look into. Some of them are kind of costly. The second one is if you've got friends that want to have like a kid for you, or somebody else that wants to have a child. I don't know if you've seen the movie Juno. You can kind of do it that way sometimes. Or third, adoption is a possibility. Most parents, as mean as it sounds, don't want to adopt a child that's more than like a couple years old though, because
Right, and not only this, genetically speaking, because of kin selection theory, it's quite hard for a person to love a child that's not their own the same as a child that is their own. Even step children or half children, half children, are not loved as much as full children. It's just, you're on this earth to propagate your genes, right, according to biology. So your own genes would be against you wasting your energy like that. That's the harsh reality of it. Now, some people do go against their nature to do it, and it is admirable, but it isn't to say that the process doesn't exist, right?
they don't want like a ruined kid, which is really sad, but thoughts on calling people like Hasan alt-left? I think alt-left is a cringe term. I don't like it. And it's not really alt-left. He's just a tanky. I think there's already words to describe those people. They're just tanky. Hasan feels like he's a lot more definitive about shit. It's not hard to imagine Tim Pool at least entertaining and listening to the other side. Yeah. Hasan is a featured TwitchCon creator. Twitch will play favorites and won't ban him until... Yeah, he's not going to get banned for any of this. I don't even think he should necessarily be banned. I don't think he should be banned. I just wish there was like... One, it sucks that I'm not on Twitch, so there's literally no pushback for any of this, because obviously none of the LSF streamers know anything. And then, I don't know, are there any other big people that do politics on Twitch that get even like 500 concurrent viewers? Like,
probably not.
If you've been...
Like, this is just the whole narrative set on that site now. It's going to be... I haven't listened to this yet, but...
If you've been looking for a reason to stop pretending that you are a fan of Amy Schumer, here's your reason this week, okay? All right? Amy Schumer, you are allowed to say full-throatedly, sucks. This woman has a career from stealing comics jokes.
Okay.
Just like her beloved nation of Israel, which stole Palestinians' land and lives. Okay?
Apparently this girl is unhinged.
Amy
Okay.
and Zionist Israel, both have in common that they love to steal and then pretend otherwise.
Lovely.
I know you personally don't think he should be banned, but if they ban Fuentes and similar, do you think Hasan is comparably bannable? I don't think Fuentes should be banned. I think that a platform that would ban somebody like Nick Fuentes, though, would easily ban somebody like Hasan. Absolutely. If Fuentes is supposed to be banned on Twitch, then Hasan should easily be banned. I thought about making like a tweet earlier and like tagging them just to like stir shit up. Obviously he's never gonna be banned, but just like virtue signal or whatever. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty... If I wasn't medicated right now, I'd be a lot more upset about it. Can you please explain what people mean when they say Gaza is like an open-air prison or a concentration camp? It's hard to know what's true on this. Yeah, I don't know. I should look into this. I should do... Once I get home, well, I hope it's still somewhat relevant so we can like research it. Because I've gotten a lot of people arguing against like calling it like an open-air prison or apartheid state or like concentration camp is a little brutal. The conditions aren't good. But also, for instance, like people will say things like, oh, Gaza is a genocide. They're being genocided. They're being genocided. They're being genocided. The population went from like 1 million to 2 million, I think, in like, what, like 20 or 30 years? That's a very unsuccessful genocide. Like, but nothing gets in or out of the Gaza Strip. My understanding is nothing gets in or out without explicit Israeli approval. Like they've got like checkpoints everywhere, and it is like cameras and everything. You can't leave, and it's blockaded. There's a blockade and an embargo, so you can't ship anything in or out.
So it sounds like what do you call it? Like a slum. Oh no! Slum is the wrong word because it doesn't. There aren't necessarily only people without wealth there living in horrid conditions. It's like a police state. It's like a tightly controlled police state, like something you might see in a sci-fi movie.
So I mean, like. It's calling it, the problem is that like calling it apartheid, calling it prison, calling it a concentration camp, it's a bit reductive on what's a pretty complicated situation. So yeah, I don't know. What did Amy Schumer even tweet here? Her story. An Islamic Jihad missile killed hundreds of innocent 4 minutes ago. Hundreds of innocent Palestinians in a hospital in Gaza. Many Western outlets published a propaganda lie, blaming Israel without fact-checking. Facts only reached the headlines an hour later. Fire the BBC News, New York Times, Sky News, CNN editors. Lies that stoke anti-Jewish hatred. This is probably true. This is probably a measured tweet. This is most likely true at this point, I think. How long ago is this? Ooh, I don't know if it was true 9 or 12 hours ago or whatever. Or 11 hours ago, but...
Sounds to me like Amy is also paid to have a side.
Caroline is an idiot, but I think because it feels like because there were some people like Bernie Sanders and Rashid Tlaib, because there were some people that that gave measured takes on Israel-Palestine. Because there were some people that get measured takes on it, it seems like now they're trying desperately to virtue signal, like, whoa, but I'm not okay with the idea of killing everybody. Look, they bombed, they killed a hospital, 500 people dead, right? They're like really desperate to jump in on the other side, which I think is obviously really cringe.
As I said before, they don't care about the truth. They care about money. Because they only care about money, they don't care if they're flip-flopping, because they don't care that you know the truth. They only care about your eyes being on the screen.
I served in the relevant IDF unit. We don't intercept rockets that early above Gaza. It's a small place. Fragments of the enemy rocket and interceptor don't fall from the sky and are dangerous. Terrorists in Gaza have about 1 out of 10 rate of missed fire from Gaza to Gaza. I saw it with my own eyes on the radar. The truly ironic thing is supposedly, with your 1K views acting like a political streamer, Hasan owns you. Why is my kick chat so mean to me? Fuck you. Listen. Oh shit, I just read a message. I was in the middle of saying something. Oh, no, I thought I remembered it, but I didn't. Oh, supposedly, the truly ironic part was supposedly this was a rocket that Hamas was firing from like one hospital that went over another hospital and then malfunctioned and hit, like, whew, not a good day. Am I crazy, or everyone became a pro in Israeli-Palestinian conflict ever since 2 weeks ago? Yeah, but this is how it always goes, right? And
It's just bandwagon stuff, you know, because a lot of people don't actually care, right? What they actually care about is virtue signaling. Look at what a great person I am. Aren't I informed? Aren't I a good person? Don't you think that I'm a good person? Don't you agree that I'm a good person for agreeing with side X or side Y? It's like that.
new conflict. Like 2 months ago, everybody was an expert on the difference between like submersives versus, or not submissible, submersibles versus fucking submarines and shit, right? It's just, that's the way of the world. Here's the true horror of the misinformation spread by Hamas and their simps, is that there's US and Israeli embassies around the world are being attacked under the presumption Israel leveled a hospital with the US being okay. Yeah, is that true? That would be really sad if that's true. I love the kicker kid this week. Listen, I've had to deal with a lot of drama going on. Keep in mind, this is the first time I've seen my wife in like fucking 3 months, okay? So fuck you guys that are posting my subreddit like, oh, he's retired, blah. Listen, I'm married. I got relationships in the real world that I have to upkeep and shit, okay? Fuck you.
Ridiculous.
This I don't understand. So is Hasan's stream, I've been watching it, is Hasan's stream, does he just uncritically believe every single thing that comes out of Gaza?
Probably not, but again, he's paid to have a side. So because he's paid to have a side, he's going to act as though he uncritically believes it. Because if he truly uncritically believes it, he's an idiot.
Like, does he just like, well, he just like, oh, yeah, obviously it's true because...
How much do you believe the human shield stuff? No, of course I don't believe the human shield stuff. What do you mean?
What is it? I should have looked for full context of this, but I was so irritated when I saw this clip, I didn't even fucking bother. I was just so, like, what does he mean by this? Was there a greater context where he said, like, in some cases he doesn't believe it? Or, because, like, Hamas, their main headquarters, they operate out of hospitals. Hamas does this all the time. This is what they do. I don't even think they deny it. Like...
I've told, no, that's ridiculous. There is no, even if I were to believe that they are like purposely fucking putting humans in front of rockets, okay, it's ridiculous to actually shoot through the hostage.
Also, that's not what human shield means. I know he knows this though, so there must be more context. Because a human shield does not mean you actually like got a shield of a human. It just means you're doing military operations around humans that would necessitate collateral damage to civilians if you were to be aggressed upon or counterattacked or whatever, right? That's a human shield.
That's, yeah, okay. Alright, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all for notifications, drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian, Tom, and Bobby, and Dylan, shoutouts to you. Most recent purchase of Strategist Guide to Seduction and Quotes to Live By, thank you. You can buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. My Patreon is patreon.com/theheliosblog. And if you're interested in coaching, message me at theheliosblog@gmail.com. I'll slot you right in. Alright guys, thank you so much once again. Take care of yourselves, and thank you for watching to the end. I'll see you next time.